5:30. Start recording. Gloria should be checking back in here in a minute. And we will go ahead. We'll call our meeting to order. This is the March 11th, 2025 Board of Commissioners for Thurston County Fire Protection District 8 South Bay. And the first order of business is public comments. We have somebody from the public here. You're not required to speak or say anything, but open invitation to.
Thank you, appreciate it. Just happy to be a part of the board.
All right, thanks. Thank you for being here. Okay, we'll go ahead then and move into the chief's report.
Did send it out, fortunately a little late this time, but hoping everybody had an opportunity to look at it, and I would be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Well, I did have a comment,
Yes.
no question. On the financial report, I like the financial report where it looks like we have. Well, obviously, we're making big use of our money. It's going the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, did I read it correctly that our staffing in North Olympia Station was 100%, correct?
They did a great job of having crews over there. It costs us some overtime. We're still short of one. And we had some vacations, sick leaves, so it was a little bit of a challenge, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
I noticed the numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah,
That's why we report them.
that's right. Appreciate the good work there, Chief.
Absolutely. No, happy to get so many approvals.
Okay, any other comments or questions about the chief's report? Okay, with that, we'll move to the IR&R status.
All right, so an update on goal one, updating our policy or our procedure efforts. We have launched out, we're right on time. As you know, we have our schedule, our plan, we're following right along with it, so we're right on time. The crews have started their different committees. So we have committees on the different procedures, and we're at the early stages of the forming, the storming, the norming to get through all that. So, but they're up and running, they're working through. And we expect by April to start having some drafts that everybody else can start kicking around and get the different committees and all the officers getting their fingerprints on each one. So basically, we siloed each of the different procedure committees on the topics they're working through just to get some draft stuff, and then they start sharing back and forth in April. So we can beat them up a little bit more in April, and then all membership, kind of a final comment suggestion. Let everybody have a chance to, so that we get Chief and Camp in June. Some draft languages to start adopting.
Did they get a lot of people signing up on each committee or?
Yeah, I think we're averaging 5
Oh, nice.
in each one.
That's really cool.
That's really good.
Some people are on multiple ones,
Sure.
but 5 people for each one, so that's
Oh,
working.
there's 12.
So, any questions on goal one?
Still on pace to be approved by the board in July?
Should be, as long as we get Chief the procedures. So the idea being, we get our SOPs and SOGs that tie to the SOPs wrapped up and get to him in June. So he has June to July to see any policy level implementation. So,
SOG.
standard operating guidelines.
Guidelines.
Give more specifics, and then the procedures kind of overview how we do it. And of course, the policy is what we do.
Yeah.
So shouldn't speak for Chief, but I feel like we're on time to get the procedure part in June, and who knows what kind of challenges he'll see on the implementation of that to impact the policy. But I expect so.
Great.
Okay. Goal 2. Our staffing plan, we're on track for that as well. We did have the 5, call them wave 1. We had 5 people that were applied last summer, and Chief and I had the opportunity to interview that 5. And we do have our announcement out for lateral firefighters. It's out, and that closes off on the 24th. We have 7 applicants in now, 6 qualified, 7 total applicants in for the lateral firefighter position. And we'll be starting in on that on the 27th will be our battalion chiefs. Will do the initial interview of our wave 2 group. And then they'll send Chief and I their finalists from that group. And then Chief and I do the interviews for the final ones, and we'll see how all that pans out. And then if we can make offers, we are approved to hire up to 6. May or may not all 6 be appropriate, but we have the ability to hire up to 6. So see how many of them come through and are good lateral options, and then we move forward on that. That takes us through for the rest of this year for a lateral plan. And then we still are updating the announcement for the entry level, because then in September, we pull off of our list of who had applied for entry level. So the current group, the 6 we're talking about for the laterals already firefighters to start right in. And then in September, we pull our list of anybody who's 18 and 18 and then a driver's license, and they apply for the entry level, interview them, process that group September, and we can make conditional offers. And of course, there's background checks, there's medical, psychological, and all that. That gives us till the end of the year. So the goal is in January, we hire entry level folks, get them onboarded, bring them in, and then send them off hopefully over to our South Sound Academy. That'll be the initial level hire and EMT. We'll be going through that with our entry level folks. So we're on time.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When with the entry level what does that entail? What qualifications do they have to have?
18 years old.
Okay,
Driver's license.
that's it. 18 and a driver's license, no training, no anything to go with that?
Correct.
Okay. So if somebody had gone to like Bates and got their training and wanted to apply, they could do that even if they're not in the fire district?
Yep, anybody can apply.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
They would, I would guess, maybe have a leg up in the interview if they already had some qualifications.
Okay.
To apply and get an interview, they have to they go on to public safety testing, which is the website,
Okay.
take a written test, they do the CPAT just to apply. Then we take the results of who applied, that sets up our interview list.
Okay.
Interview, we do an initial interview, and then whatever the interview panel of that list narrows down to their favorites,
Okay.
goes to the chief's interview, and then the chief's interview makes the selections.
Okay. And that would be like in September?
In September, we plan on doing interviews.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all of the applicants will have been pre-cleared to some degree. They've passed a written test that shows they have some inclination. They've also passed physical agility tests to prove that they can perform the essential functions, the physical functions. I mean, it's not just taking their pulse and seeing if they're breathing. I mean, actually, to some degree.
When do they take the psych eval?
That comes after
After
the
they-
conditional offer.
After they've trained and everything?
It goes interview, chief's interview, then they go to background checks. Background checks, depending on how the backgrounds are cleared, we can then make conditional offers based on the results of the background check. Make the conditional offers after we have the background checks done. Make that conditional offer, and the conditional offer is that they pass their psychological and their physical assessments that they go, their exams that they go and do. And if the physical and the psychological are clear, then we make the official offer.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Up to, relatively soon. And then do we have a minimum with that, up to 6 number? So it could be 1, could be 5.
It could be 0.
Could be
If
0.
we don't like anybody, we take 0 laterals. We have none this year. What would happen would be, let's just say we get 3. We get 3 laterals. Well, that's 3 more positions we would need. So instead of having 3 entry level, we would be picking 6 entry level to get us still back up to the number. It's just a combination of how many laterals versus how many entry. The number at the end, well, the number early in 2026 would still be, the 9. Any questions on goal 2? All right, so staffing report, I've given the handout, it says it's actually different, other than it says March on the bottom. So we haven't lost any volunteers, we have no new members. So we're still the same as last month. And we mentioned earlier, but we're proud that Mr. Grimaldo is off the academy, so he's the one in the blue here, off getting his training, and then once he's done with that, he'll go right over to A platoon. Any questions on staffing?
Thank you for that. Okay, moving on then to our policy on procurement expenditures and audit general guidelines.
We shared with you last month on this, the draft update, and this has been run by council, legal counsel, as well as our purchasing program that we have here, Heidi and Brent and his team. And we received no comments this past month, so I would ask that the board approve the policy 103. Okay.
I can move to approve the policy 103-PO00. As we see it today. With the changes.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. Is there any questions, concerns, or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hey,
Thank you. You can sign that. Sir.
yes, sir. All right, and then on to the policy regarding information technology and media.
Right, if two different policies, we, in our regular process, kind of concurrent with Brandon's team looking at the operational policies, we're doing, Heidi and I are looking through the administrative policy. So just approve one tonight, this is the second one, so we'll have a couple more in front of you in future months. But this is basically an overhaul of our information technology. It was originally one policy, and after some discussion with our legal counsel, he recommended that we split them, have one more technical aspect of information technology, that have a separate policy regarding social media. And the good news, bad news is it shortens up our information technology policy, creates a very long social media policy, and that's done for a reason. Social media, as you might guess, for a public agency can be very, let me just say, it presents some risk. We have been fortunate that we've not had problems internally, but again, we don't want to have problems. So this will also incorporate some training, as some of the work that Brandon is doing, looking at overhauling our probationary training. The social media piece will become a mandatory piece of training for our members. So there's nothing I need tonight, other than if you have some questions on the drafts that we sent out. I will be asking for approval at our next month's meeting.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have any questions either. Just, I guess, the comment that we've, like I said, we've had very few, if any, problems with social media. And I think that says something about our culture and the people that we're hiring and working with, that our folks are generally responsible and committed to making sure that we do the right thing, I think.
Okay. Well, again, if you have any questions, comments, or anything, please send them to me, and I'll incorporate any recommendations into the next version, and I'll bring it forward.
Okay. All right, we'll move down to secretary's report. First is approval of February 11th meeting minutes.
I sent them out. I only had one minor edit that was recommended, which was made.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
I'll make motion improvements.
Okay, motion to approve and
Second.
seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any questions on the warrants?
I don't have any.
I didn't have any either.
Okay.
Looks like this one.
So I'll move to approve the warrants.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to approve the warrants as delivered. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Just as kind of a added note to that, we have been experiencing some mistakes from our friends at the treasurer's office on some of our statements and that. We've had to work with them to make corrections on their part, not ours. And I'm thinking they probably have some new staff there, but we've been having to be extra careful as we check our numbers.
Yeah.
And we have, and one to the tune of over $300,000 that wasn't ours. So I'm looking at our cash balance.
Yeah,
After they brought the AED out and fixed me, I
Good catch.
mean, you shouldn't have to, and actually, we're paying these people to do this job, believe it or not. But, anyway, just thought I'd make public record.
Yeah.
Okay, any announcements?
I don't really have any announcements. I just had it as a placeholder.
Okay.
I'll announce that I've been having to pay all the bills and I'm really missing Janet.
No announcement needed.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
People, are you gonna replace her position?
I think that's a topic that the chief is gonna discuss with the board. Okay. When he meets with you guys. So,
Yeah.
yes, our plan is to do something. I'm not sure what we're gonna do.
Right. So we have two special sessions that will, special meetings that we'll be holding. The first one will be on the 28th of this month.
Next Friday.
Right. And then the next one, the other one is
April 11th.
April 11th.
Right. But I will say that it's not a secret, that I'm gonna be able to retire in 4.5 years. So we're thinking we'll do some kind of succession plan with the role, filling the role. That's our recommendation, and, but, yeah.
But nice smooth transition.
So can I say the April 11th meeting, I am still out of town for my June trip that we always do. So I'm wondering, is there any way we can, because I won't be able to be in person for that one. Can we do the 4th or the 18th for that meeting?
That's, is that the one with Dave?
Yes.
Or, right.
We've had to kind of coordinate that with our legal counsel, so.
Okay.
Can you zoom in?
I can zoom in. Yeah, that's, I should be able to zoom in because I'm going to have to zoom in because I'll be at the dunes, the Oregon dunes. So I'll have to zoom in for the board meeting on the 8th. And if I can zoom in for the other one, I can do that.
Okay,
I told her she couldn't zoom in because you said you wanted it in person.
well, I would like to have had it in person, but we can, I think it's okay to zoom in.
Okay.
Well, stop you from zooming in. I have a preference, but no, you can zoom in.
Okay. Okay. Just make sure you get me the like we did today, it was the one number and then the code thing, because for some reason my computer says I have to have that in order to join the meetings. It's the member ID number and the passcode.
Like,
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
okay,
I'll share that later.
That's fine.
I'll share it before the meeting, but yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'll him so he knows.
Okay. And if for some reason I have difficulty that I can't because I can't get the internet good enough at the dunes, then I'll text somebody and let them know. Okay,
Okay, sounds good.
okay.
I had the meeting on the 28th at 10 o'clock in the morning. I think I missed the April 11th meeting. Is that the same time? Is that the 7 o'clock meeting as well?
I believe it is. Was it 10 or
I
9?
think 10 o'clock, so yeah, that's what I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
And that's the one with their attorney.
Any other comments?
Thing I want to bring up is just remind everybody about the public disclosure notice we're supposed to do every year. If you haven't got it in yet,
Oh, yeah.
it'll be done by
yes.
April 15th.
That's right. Okay, yes. Thank you for that. I was thinking about that the other day and
It's
this,
so fun.
It slipped my mind.
It slipped our mind. Yeah, and there's additional, every couple of years, we've got to do certain training too, so.
Yeah.
gotta keep it on.
It's every 2 years.
yeah, that's on public records requests, isn't that what the,
Let's do the PDC, Public
Yeah.
Disclosure Commission, yeah.
yeah. And
I think you only need it once, so I don't think it's an
I think-
annual
I thought it
requirement.
was
No,
every
it's
4
every-
years. I
yeah,
thought-
there was every
I thought-
3 or 4 years.
I
Okay.
thought it was more than 2. But
I've got it twice.
we will check.
When I initially got this position, and then I forgot about it last year, just didn't know about it last year, they came after me pretty hard, so I don't know, if it's a new commissioner, new position, but I've had it twice now.
yeah, well, there's two different things. There's one is the disclosure of your personal,
Yeah, you have to make that file.
yes, it's a filing of your own personal worth or wealth or whatever. And then the other one is actually required by, I think, the Secretary of State's office, which is public records requests and, the importance of that and responding to that and that kind of thing. Do I have that right?
Yeah, so, I thought it was only one time though, but I didn't know that it was recurrent training.
Yeah.
Can clarify that.
Do you want me to look it up and
Yeah.
send it to you
Would you
guys
please?
tomorrow? Yeah, I
'Cause,
will.
yeah, I think Heidi, you and I talked about it a little bit early last year, and you said you thought that SNRS, or that there were some online things that you could do, because
Yeah.
SNRS office,
Yeah, I
He
thought I
offers
sent that to
training.
Jake. Didn't I send you an online and then you just signed off on it? Kind
the
of,
online one with from the AG's office,
right.
it wasn't really a training. I tried to connect on that.
We did have qualified training last year, about this time last year, as I remember. And that would have counted, I think, but
Yeah.
yeah. once you
I'll look
find
it
out-
up and I'll
Okay.
send you a link tomorrow.
I won't be disappointed if I don't have to do it again. For the state. Should count. Okay,
Oh, yeah. We finally got our email from our friends at Washington Survey and Rating. They're planning on coming in and doing our every 5 year, 6 years later evaluation. We expect to have them show up in the first week of September. So I think that last year, or last time we did it, we had been evaluated under the new criteria, which they are still using. I don't know. if
We were
there are
one
any
of the
changes.
first departments in the state to go through the new criteria. So there was a change on it, and then subsequently, other departments started learning, oh, it's different. So we're in a little bit of an advantage this time because we know the new, how it works, so not as nervous as 5 years ago.
So we've got plenty of time to line up the stuff that they want. They want files, and everything. So I find out where the chips fall.
Yeah. I had two thoughts of things that actually I guess would be Mr. McBride and not needing to hang up on him or anything. Number one is I was curious as to when our request for bids for the work at the North Olympia Station, when is that scheduled to be released for bidders potentially? I'd be interested if you would follow up and ask Mr. McBride about that.
I have, unfortunately, he's been off. It's been difficult he's off with an injury, but
Yeah, that's,
he did contact Steve Hatton, and the last I talked to Steve or two ago, and they had some final touches they wanted to do for the bid specifications. So we haven't forgotten. It's just that Brent being out, and Steve.
right.
finalizing the thing. I plan to ask Brent, we've got a F&E meeting here this week or next week, I think.
Okay. And the other thing is that I, mentioned this to you quite some time ago, it's, fine, that, we have an investment in a solar system on the south side of our building, and we have a tree that is on the south side of the building. When it's leafed out, it is blocking part of our solar system. We probably should take care of that. At the very least, trim it or something, right? Otherwise, we're degrading our potential energy production.
Good catch. I didn't even notice the trees.
I noticed it in the fall before the leaves fell and all that, I drove by it.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of big.
I brought, because you have to watch your.
That's right, I didn't think about that.
Occurred to me, I'll have to check that.
Okay, thank you.
You may be out here with chainsaws.
I'm sure it falls the right direction.
I've got a chainsaw that needs to get used.
Pardon?
I've got a chainsaw that needs to get used.
Well, we've got chainsaws, so I don't think that's a problem.
Okay, is that it? Anything else for the good of the order? Review and follow-up would be we've got the technology and media policies for next month. And I think that was all.
Announce a newly fallen tree on the south side of our building.
Yeah. Okay. With that, we will recess for executive session. And I anticipate our executive session will take 20 minutes. And we'll be talking about performance review.
Review.
Okay.
Have a great evening.
All right, you can stop the recording.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for
Good to see you.